Good morning. Good morning. This is Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India. On this day, April 19th, 2021, Monday, regarding same talk of quality led discussion for everybody. Title of this talk being Civil Field Engineering Designs Construction Method Statements Contracts Quality System, that is AnnexSL, organizations which are construction organizations and others, and complete coordination based on communication, quantity and quality. Various issues are amalgamated together because no other issue can move together itself, alone itself. I'm sorry. No other issue can move alone. We have to take everything into our consideration. Quality is very important issue for everybody, and if it is not taken into that consideration, no one can do justice to itself, because quality is life and life must have quality. Without quality we can't survive, and if we say no we can survive, then it will be fake statement. Yes, there can be variation in levels of quality achieved, just like there can be variations in passing certain examination. How many, what grade or what marks does one achieve? It's same thing, because thinking is variant. Thinking gives someone strain while gives someone happiness, pleasure. It depends upon. There are some people who think a lot and enjoy. Yet there are some people who think very little and they get headache. So quality of both has distant effect. A student who studies a lot finds interest, immerses itself in study, and there's another one who is completely reverse. That boy or girl doesn't want to study, wants to see film or see video or wants to play. There's difference in quality in both. One wants to have physical intimacy, physical based pleasure. Other wants to have mind based pleasure. And this is what thinking gives. If you want to conduct knowledge about someone, you have to understand all plus points and minus points, or you may say merits and demerits of that person. Until you know merits of that person, you cannot think of that person in positive way. And of course, when you see demerits, you have to deduct those demerits impacts from those effects, and you get set based, or you can say real character of that person, real quality position of that person. It's not person. When I say person, means whatever, wherever is person or it's good or thing, it applies to everything. So thinking, as I said, is very important part of life. Thinking gives contemplation, and contemplation means a kind of set template, a kind of format that's in mind or on paper. We can say, if we are able to translate that school of thought generated in mind based on thinking, that's called a kind of group of contemplation or contemplation itself. And whatever result we get, we want to apply that. We can say it's perfect mechanism, say, or a part of mechanism that can be tried by application, and that can be called a part of engineering. If it's effective, it may be effective positively or it may be effective negatively. Both ways, because plus and minus work together in word as a multiplication and division, but plus and minus is unit which is independent, which is for individual this work. Without mathematical application, without mathematical knowledge, universe does not work. It may be realized or it may not be realized, but as we expect and we can say, not only expect, we can say that world is based on mathematics. This means in beginning itself, when world was initiated for construction, mathematics must have played a direct role in its way. And mathematics means intense work of mind. Intense work, not thinking, super thinking, you can say. Application, multiple application of thinking is mathematics. And then mathematics works, engineering generates, engineering starts, and when mathematics leads, engineering leads, construction leads, designs leads, everything happens. So engineering is that power which makes this universe in addition to all other knowledge areas. Engineering is not simply what we think is engineering in this world. We do. That is only part of engineering. Very, very small part of engineering. We study civil engineering, we study electrical, mechanical, electronics, architectural, agricultural, aerospace, automobile, and you can say instrumentation, security, and many, many more. There's no one distinct test. There are many more. And all based on power of mathematics, application of sciences. And sciences means successfully what we understand about functioning of nature. If we can understand, justify, reach complete knowledge of that, that's called science, which leads to working of science means engineering, and engineering means product that is useful for humanity or for everyone. That product works in perfection, that product works in systematic way, or that product or assembly of such products that all together work, and that's called domain of engineering for that purpose or technique for that purpose. We cannot simply say engineering is direct. No, engineering is a group of various processes, group of various technologies. Engineering is a system in particular branch that can lead to add to quality of life, improvement of life, evolution of life to better status. Nobody knows when this universe was constructed, when it was started. Theories may be there. It's all delusion. Fact remains, nobody knows. Just like nobody knows how and where does this superpower work or sit. So we can simply say whatever we can understand, whatever we can apply, we can work toward that, we can know towards that. And free power that is given to human being and to everyone. I speak free power, and title is free power, because I am paying nothing, you are paying nothing, nobody is paying anything for purpose of thinking. So think is a verb and thinking is everything. If someone can think intensively, that person is fortunate enough, I can say, because you are doing something which otherwise you can't do, your body cannot do, your top floor can do, and that is called thinking in English, but it can be concentration in English. It can also be, you can say, soch in Hindi, or it can be use of mind, you can say. There is no other term I should give because I don't know all languages, but there are. For example, in Arabic they say mukmafish. If a person doesn't have mind, they call mukmafish. This means if a person has a mind, mukfi, you have mind. Mukhi they call it, mukmafish, mukfi. So a person who has mind is always valued. Some people call it head, some people call it mind, some people call it brain. Well, whatever it is, function that we draw from this natural built instrument or prototype or robot in our head. It works very well if you use it. And if you don't use it, you don't use it for any analysis, for conducting whatever analysis or then converting to solutions or synthesis, there is no meaning of this. It goes idle, it remains idle. And if something remains idle means we have to be serious about that. So analysis and this. So now question is not that we talk of only analysis or synthesis. There are so many factors other than this, or you can say there are so many coverage areas which apply on life. For example, it is reliability, which is a combination of various factors, which is a combination that must be achieved based on this. Relates to safety, relates to serviceability, and relates to durability, and more relation to procurement, to risk, to time, to cost. So many factors work there together, and those all together move and work, and we can say some way, directly or indirectly, we have to chart out a system for all these factors to work together. This is cost, time, quality, procurement, risks, human resources, equipment, natural resources, power of mind, individuality. All these points come together or brought together. If they don't come together, in thinking they come together, I can say. You cannot simply define thinking just work of mind. Yes, it's work of mind as well as work of past experience, as well as vision of present and future. All combinations go and define or terminology, term themselves or itself thinking. You cannot simply say thinking by a kid, thinking by a youth, and thinking by adult, thinking by old, thinking by veteran. All thinkings are having different orders. A boy or a baby can think only, very little imagination, but imagination exists. That baby wants to know about everything, about good or bad, because that baby does not have full knowledge, but wants to extract knowledge. Wants to analyze what is in hand. A baby can break any toy, can break whatever toy give him. For him, it's no breaking, it's no sabotage, but it is only to know what does it contain. This means a step towards analysis. That baby breaks and we think this is broken, he's a naughty, but actually that baby is not naughty. That baby is in search of knowledge. That's what we say. And same way a young boy does for knowledge, for experiment, physical experiment, mental experiment, or learning. So there's a different kind of conduct. So when you apply for some objective, to achieve some objective in life, and you use your mind for that purpose, there are so many backs that work during that thinking. Thinking is not simply objective, it's not subjective, it's complete divergence and convergence. Every thinking is different. You think as a designer, you will think whole world. When you think as a poet, you think different. When you think as a teacher, or you think as a student, when you think as an engineer and doctor, everywhere you will find different directions, different powers. It depends upon what base you have. Whether you are very well educated in sciences or engineering or other branches, or you are just only nothing, you know background of education, or you may have some common sense, you'll think in that way. So thinking is very divergent, and thinking leads to solution. Maybe right or maybe wrong. This leads to solutions. And during reaching that solution, you formulate some ways, some steps, right or wrong. And if these are wrong, you relate them, you do again, and you find real sequence. and that is kind of part of method statement. And that's also part of design, because those can be used in designs, and also designs means future construction. So this is complete definition I cannot say, but it is some extent, a thinking based analysis about what we want to achieve. You may later on call it quality, or you may later call system, or individual effort, or product, good product or bad product, based on some designs. And all these quality, design, time, cost, thinking, contemplation, risk, procurement, all require time and mind, or thinking. That's what I think. Aggressively and with power of collection, these work a lot. These can create, you can say, these factors can create good for everything. If you keep on thinking, certainly your waves of mind increase. If you keep on thinking and thinking and thinking, either you sleep or you enjoy your thinking. And that thinking can lead you and to you both. That thinking leads to you to get more information, and that thinking leads you to somewhere else where you do not imagine where you shall be. You go to whole universe knowledge. That's where you find something. It doesn't mean you get money. Money is another part of life, but your contribution is very important. So this is just a part I wanted to explain about something. Every day we have to think, every time we have to think. As engineer, as scientist, as doctor, or professional, whatever teacher you are, duty of engineer is to think. If an engineer doesn't think, I don't consider that engineer as an engineer. Because you can't be follower. You are an engineer, you have to use mind. If you say no, I have to follow what is given, then you are very small engineer. You can't research, you can't think, you can't endeavor. That point is very, very much. We have to understand this. Why should we not? We should. Yes, we should. Life is not that easy as you think. Life is difficult, but that difficulty has to be removed by application of for solution, and that's engineering. Engineering means use of mind. If you cannot use of mind, you even if you have degree, you have post graduation, everything, if you are unable to use your power of mind, which is power of God, power of mind is power of God. This means when you use your power of mind, you use blessings of God you have. All those, it doesn't mean that you have food or no food, you have money or no money. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not claiming that thinking shall get you money. No, it's not going to happen. It may happen, it may not happen. There is no surety on that. Only surety is that thinking can give you anything. Whatever you don't even imagine, thinking can give that. But you should develop a habit of thinking as a professional. If a professional cannot think, I can't term that person a professional. That person is nothing, I will only say. Intellectual study means intellectual use. We say these people are intellectuals, professionals are intellectuals. We mean engineers or doctors are intellectuals, or other creative professionals are intellectuals. Relative professional I don't call intellectuals who just think on available material and don't research on anything. I can't say that they are intellectuals. They may call themselves intellectuals, but in fact it doesn't happen. So original intellectualism is available where people only think and then do something. Think is no joke. Maybe you say always is talking, thinking, it talks. Yes, I always talk of thinking. Because thinking itself is required for thinking. It's like food. If you don't take food, you feel hungry. You feel thirsty. You have to take water. You have to take tea or coffee. Or you have to drink something else for quenching your thirst, for quenching your hunger. This means that is a must. Even if you sleep whole day, you need food. You have to eat it. But thinking is much about that. Thinking food, when you term thinking as food, I think is right term. Is a food of mind, food of hunger of your mind. You are hungry for knowledge. You are hungry for thinking. You are hungry to find some material for you to study or to grasp or to analyze. So, food of mind is much more important than food of body. If you are healthy, your mind should be very fertile. Your mind should move in all directions, not in one direction alone. Not in direction you are well educated, but you have to learn more, because thinking people are self leaders, self teachers, self improvers. That must happen. Well, you may say that unnecessarily is talking. You may say that anything can happen. You may say that whatever happens or doesn't happen, it, I can say that that quality itself is brilliant if you are brilliant. If you are not brilliant, quality is not brilliant, because quality is a function of mind. Quality is basis of learning, and quality means your life. If you don't value quality, I think you cannot value anything. And quality definition is wide, very wide. You can go to enormous levels. You can achieve skies if you understand quality and system. My body is my system, but it's not made by me, it's not done by me. It's by that power who does everything for everybody. And that must be very reasonable, that must be constructive, that is never destructive if you are not destructive. If you are a nuclear bomb engineer, of course you are destructive. So that power may not help you, because that power says you are abusing my power, abusing my material. You have to face circumstances, you have to face results, you have to face consequences, everything. But if you think in positive way, just like God thought in positive way while creating this universe or universes, God never thought that I will break them, and God has not broken it for many, I don't know when this was started, maybe whatever number of years. System has been working perfectly. So that type of system we need, and it may be called quality system. Quality doesn't mean beauty, it doesn't mean you can say good clothes, it doesn't mean, but it means soundness of your mind, power of your mind, use of mind, work of mind, and whatever you get out of that, that should be logically used for purpose of it. Otherwise, if it can't be used, there is no meaning of that you can say. We're just going through certain method statements, and we went through all these in last talks, and talks never end, but we have to refer ourselves to something that we may say yes, it is this and is that. So we can say we're talking somewhere on concrete, though it's very small, but concrete is not small. Concrete is a lot of work in it. It works and works, and we have to go into epoxy coating. We had seen. We had gone through these statements yesterday, and this is vinyl epoxy we have gone through. So somewhere else, epoxy is cutting on dry lining. What was that? Let me see. It is skids in the line of cheaper finishes. So concrete, I think, yes. Not testing other one. It's not master seal. No, it's not master seal. It's master seal. Maybe I'm forgetting. Sometimes I forget. Here the floor skids we are done. I think here you are somewhere. Concrete placement. Let us see this very small statement, but it's very big one. It is concrete placement, and purpose of this statement is to define procedure. that could be adopted for placing structural concrete upon brownfield project onto varying type of members located all over proposed site, including heavy light foundation, building components and all other internal as well as external works, and that is concrete. Concrete, you know it very well. Again, this scope is that define procedures that shall be adopted for placing structural concrete upon project onto varying types of members located all over proposed site, including heavy or light foundations, building components, and all others internal as well as external works. And we have project specifications for this. And we have responsibilities and definitions, and of course it says that you have to, you can say ACI 301 chapter 8 specifications, and there are many others. Safety issues, general responsibilities. Safety is no different, it's same. Then we can say safety officer to monitor all activities, advising and implementing all safety procedures, and respecting all very significant pores involving major quantities. All risks analysis posed by personnel or by equipment shall be conducted, and pour with safety planned according to keeping it intact. So method is, we had many sketches of formworks and of course some methods how to pour. I showed yesterday, again I'll try to come back. These sketches all meant for concrete work indicatively. Now concrete, I think it's no joke. It's work of science, it's work of engineering. And this is a general statement. In fact, let me read this statement and then we'll see how to use it. Now, whatever we are saying, we are conferring here a structure that is scheduled to be concreted. Now, whatever structure can be there, we have to concrete that one, and this is a general statement. It must be inspected after preparatory works are over, right? A structure that is scheduled to be concreted shall be inspected and approved as acceptable. Whoever is responsible for its doing, for accomplishing preparatory works, and whoever is responsible according to quality system to approve these works, this shall be done for purpose of concrete pouring by both contractors, means civil contractor and if applicable EPC contractor or engineer. That is very common requirement. Now we say we have to pour it, means why and what we should do. Why we have to pour it? Because we have to produce a structure. What we have to do? We have to work on this RCC structure, means we have to do, first we have to design it, then we have to finalize design, and then we did every exercise, every activity that was required. Now we have to pour it. So we prepared everything. Permission to place concrete shall be authorized by contractor or quality. Now permission is okay, but we have to place concrete. That is very important part. And because everyone is responsible, contractor is responsible, quality people are responsible, engineering people are responsible, and maybe many more. So permission from everyone should be on papers or should be obtained. Permission to place concrete must be authorized. This may be by contractor, by consultant, by engineer. Now concrete is a material to be produced, and also pouring concrete is very responsible and very significant activity. Preparatory works are much more significant than pouring, and then design before that is top important. We should remember that concreting procedure, concrete pour is not just a pour, but it's a method that creates something forever. Concrete pouring is not alone concept of design and concept of performance of this product is very, very important. What foreman does, what other crew people do, that's different, that's only part of procedure. But because human resources being very important, human resource it may be, equipment resources may be, these are all very significant parts of engineering, construction and concrete. So concrete foreman shall ensure that all adequate equipment, resources including standby vibrating pokers, compressors, hoses, steel fixer, carpenter, stop ends, water, etc., whatever is thought to be available are available at location of concrete placement. This is, you can say, a kind of standby arrangement or a kind of risk cover. Means in case your vibrator fails, you must have some standby vibrator or poker, or compressor fails, you must have something to do. And all means you must have hoses, steel fixers, carpenters, all standby. And of course stop ends also standby and must be available at whatever location of concrete placement. So it's very important act to think of that. Not to play or work at 11th hour when something is broken. Means say your vibrator is broken, you can't send vibrator to market for repair. You must have another vibrator nozzle present, available, and it must be used immediately if other one is broken. You can say compressors, hoses, steel fixers, all these are there, can't be off. Means carpenter must be there. There must be steel fixer to take care of steel reinforcing bar, and carpenter to take care of formwork, supports. And you can say there must be stop end in case of concrete has to stop. How to stop if you don't have shutters or stoppers? Stoppers, very, very important point in construction. If these are urgent joints, if these are planned joints, that is different. In planned joints you have to put while doing concreting before that. So concrete foreman shall ensure that all adequate equipment, resources including standby like vibrating pokers or vibrators, compressors, hoses, steel fixer, a carpenter, stop ends, water, etc., or curing compound are available at location of concrete placement. Polythene can be available, must be available. Haitian bags can be available. Curing compound can be available, or whatever else is required for purpose of concreting must be made available without any thought. This must be checked. It's not simply that giving a statement. It must be, all these must be perfectly and obviously available when we do concrete. When major massive concrete, when we say, you can say when, let me just blow it up. So when major massive concrete pour is scheduled, when major massive concrete pour is scheduled, a pouring plan shall be issued by project engineer or project leader or whoever is responsible construction manager, defining various sequences which plan should be available with concrete foremen for implementation. This plan helps easy and successful pouring, giving location of concrete pump means when we make such plan, we have to think, and this plan shall help us, though now we make it, but we make it because we have something in mind. We put that on paper. This plan then would help for easy and successful pouring, and that pouring which plan gives exactly location of concrete pump means where you have to locate it at one time for covering some areas of pour, and also you have to change its location during pour, and then also transit mixers arriving frequently, that must be thought of at what frequency we should get concretes delivered to site, or these transit mixers available. Waiting means we can't keep gap, we have to think of frequency of these, very fast or very slow. That depends on quantity of concrete and speed of concrete both. Concrete pouring, I mean to say. And this transit mixer arriving frequency, what should be? 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, depends. Location of transit mixer, where shall you keep them? Park them during pour and during site sample testing, of course, for slump, and sequences of concrete, either in layers, in full, or in stacking, so as to avoid formation of cold joints. Duration of pour, cold joints, then we have to control duration of pores, strength respecting all classes of workers, curing arrangements, emergency solutions, and other technicalities to be implemented, such as temperature controls and monitoring thermal gradients, etc. When site laboratory concrete technician has approved concrete delivery, concrete placement activity can commence. What does it mean? It says when truck has come, concrete truck has come, there may be laboratory concrete, independent laboratory concrete technician, or maybe your own quality guy, quality professional. When site laboratory concrete technician has approved concrete delivery by using slump and of course some air voids in temperature, then that laboratory representative or a quality person can order or can say, okay, concrete placement can be done by this concrete. Concrete placement activity can commence. Now, when I say laboratory concrete means, here I said, maybe to clear your confusion. Sometimes on major sites, for major concrete, which takes months, years to complete, independent laboratory branches is made available, provided on site itself for purpose of all these. There is lakhs of cubic meters of concrete, maybe 300,000, 400,000 cubic meter of concrete. And on site means in a couple of months or year. So a representative laboratory can be formed on site, and lab technician can be in charge of that. So that's point we have to be serious. Means it's not that we do not do something. It's something we have to do it. We have to understand that. Now, refer to methods. I say testing of fresh concrete for further details. fresh concrete when you get means you have a document issued by batching plant, that's called docket, which mentions on this, it gives on this what time concrete was mixed, what was slumped there, and what time did they start from batching plant, how many cubic meters, what are components, what's the gradients of concrete, what's admixtures of any microsilica or GGBS or whatever is all given in that in a very precise manner. And this started from batching plant at this time, and it reached site at this time. You know, is it within limits, this gap, or not? That we have to see then. So that's called testing of fresh concrete. For further details, we have to refer to this test. No problem, I explained to you. This is what we do. Then on site, we take slump of this delivered material, and also we take temperature of air and temperature of concrete, as well as we can say air voids. And if something else is required, we can see. Then concrete shall be discharged by one of two methods. Okay, one of two methods means for pores greater than 2 cubic meters in volume, for pores greater than 2 cubic meter volume, concrete shall be discharged through a concrete pump or a mobile crane may be used. So let us say quantity of 2 cubic meters, very small quantity. It's I think no use to use pump just for very small quantity, because pump is expensive as well as it's not available during peak hours. And even if you bring 1 cubic meter concrete or 2 cubic meter by using pump, means the pump shall destroy half cubic meter itself. So for pores greater than 2 cubic meters in volume, concrete shall be discharged through a concrete pump or a mobile crane could be used. That's one part. Now for pores less than 2 cubic meters, 2 cubic meters very small, means where you have to about 12 bags of cement you have to use. For 4 less than 2 cubic meters, concrete can be discharged directly from truck mixer to location using a direct site fabricated chute. After concrete is delivered to site location, chute from transit mixer or a mobile crane may be used. This means if it is low level concrete, we are not to lift it, you can directly receive from transit mixer to that level, or you can make one temporary chute and transit that discharge to that chute. So you can use a transit mixer chute, or you can use mobile crane, or you may use tower crane, but those are slow, of course very slow. If you take in one shift, one time, 1 bag equivalent mix of concrete, so you have to take for 1 cubic meter 6, or for 2 cubic meters 12 13 turnings. I will to scale of. Regardless of method of discharge, whether by pump or by crane or by something, or by some other means, even manual means also includes not something unexpected. That means we have to use this very valuable concrete, which we now see is wet, but one time comes and becomes very artificial stone, and that's really development, because in every home this happened. So regardless of method of discharge, no concrete shall be dropped from a height greater than 2 meters or in a manner that causes segregation of aggregate. For purpose of avoiding segregation of aggregates during pour, you cannot use height as a solution. 1.5 to 2 meters is maximum height, that can be kept in closure of mind, and to see whether this boy or this girl, like that we say, same way we say this part or that part. So regardless of method of discharge, no concrete shall be dropped from a height greater than 2 meters or in a manner that causes segregation of aggregate. No segregation is accepted, that is to be remembered. You cannot segregate and mix again That you have to remember. So your brilliance must work, your experience must work. Maybe your machine operator, new one, but you are not new one. You explain today, you will be at home tomorrow. It's very easy. Then you can say, regardless of method of discharge, no concrete shall be dropped from a height greater than 1.5 to 2 meters or in a manner that causes segregation of aggregate. Immediately prior to placement, activities commence. Reinforcement. Immediately prior to placement, activities commence. Reinforcement with the concrete pour shall be sprayed with clean water, which would prevent concrete from adverse impact of flash setting during high temperature environment. Very important point, analytical point, which lets us know what we do, how we do. Temperature is high, is say not low, maybe 45-50 degrees, though it's not acceptable temperature within range to work. But 30 to 40 is very common, 40 to 50 is less common. So 30 to 40, which maybe now in some ways, in state where I'm sitting, at 2 it is high temperature nowadays. So fresh concrete, can say that we pour, we must understand if temperature is more, shuttering is hot, your steel bars are hot, we are forced to do at this time because of non-availability all time. So if you have to reach those people every day, means we have to, at every time when we concrete, we have to think of how to avoid the heat of formwork and heat on steel bars, because our concrete is controlled. It may be temperature of 20 or less, 15 or less. It's not having same temperature as this destiny has. This concrete is destiny. So we have to spray some water so that heated surface of steel and your shutters be comfortable to receive this concrete, because we have to avoid impact of hot materials onto your doors and windows, and even your concrete structure. Once concrete structure is done, and if there are cold joints, there is no solution to change it. So what we do, immediately prior to placement, activities commence. Reinforcement within concrete pour is sprayed with clear water, which would prevent concrete from the adverse impacts of flash setting, we call it, during high temperatures environment. Placement of fresh concrete within shutters of forms shall be conducted in a logical sequence, which sequence shall be agreed prior to commencing pour. Means you can discuss with your responsible side person who does not understand field, but who could understand. Flash setting is a disease in concrete. Cold joint is a disease in concrete, and this disease can't be treated once concrete is done. And that is where point lies in, that is where risk lies in. which everyone should understand that once it is done, there is no solution. A solution reached on computers for drawings remain silent, same. But concrete shall be placed at locations that do not exceed 1.5 meters from final location of concrete, and placement of fresh concrete with shutters forms shall be conducted in a logical sequence, which sequence shall be agreed prior to commencement. Maximum concrete layer thickness of 450 mm requires to be observed, so that nozzle of poker or vibrator interlocks lower pour layer while vibrating current concrete layer. Means why 450 mm is just limit? It's easy to understand. It's easy to understand because it's very common that size of needle of vibrator is not very big. It's around 400 mm, 450 mm maximum. So that needle and part of column height goes into sewer and is locked at top. So we can say that layer of concrete that should be vibrated must not be more than 400 mm. Frankly speaking, people don't realize this fact. I have seen, because they are not trained and they just go on filling even meter and then provide vibrator, or even don't even provide that. This is really very bad work. We can say that work has no quality, and you are wasting concrete, to be very frank, because you are not compacting that. If you don't compact concrete, there is no meaning of concrete. This is not real concrete, this is just the fill up. Just like you fill something. So concrete doesn't mean fill up, it means really structural concrete. So if you don't care about layered placement, even its beams or columns, whatever it is, and even in slabs, in foundations, there are various ways it should be done, but people don't realize those requirements. They just go on placing. That's it. So maximum layer that is limited, that is confined, is 450 mm, though it should be 400 mm and even less, must be observed, so that nozzle of poker vibrator interlocks lower pore layer while vibrating current concrete layer. Fresh concrete shall be compacted within pokers of sufficient size and number. Oscillation of vibrator means how many times it can move. Oscillation of vibrator poker is in no case shall be less than 10,000 per minute ppm, per minute pm, 10,000 per minute, but shall be considered better when it is more than 10,000 oscillations. Compaction of fresh concrete shall commence when placement of concrete quantity is adequate, so that uncontrolled segregation does not occur. I mean to say, it varies from element to element. When you pour a column is not very big in size as far as section is concerned, very small quantity in one layer, so you have to immediately, when 400 mm is laid, vibrate it and then lay another layer on that same location. And like this, you can say 2 or 3 layers can be laid in one go. So it's layered pour, but it's also height pour. Say you pour 3 layers at a time, of course followed by vibration. So 3 layers means 120 or 120 centimeter, 1 meter 20 centimeter, or 1200 mm. So you can say you are pouring, say, more than 1 meter height at a time, and then leave it, or repeat sequence as you may be having not one column alone, you may have a group of columns, say 10, 15, 20. So you can move on to another one and then come back after such 1 meter pour or more than that. So it says that compaction of fresh concrete shall commence when placement of concrete quantity is adequate, so that uncontrolled segregation does not occur. Concrete be placed in a sequence that ensures that cold joints are eliminated, as explained foregoing, because you have to come back to same column maybe in half an hour. So cold joints cannot be formed, but people do not understand on site what is cold joint, what is meaning of vibration, what's meaning of slump. They have been told, they are told only, just check this, and they do it. Now, each subsequent layer of concrete shall be adequately compacted into concrete layer below, as explained in the foregoing. Now, where you can say where in cast plates, holding down bolts for machines, holding down bolts or some other critical embedments items are included within pour. Responsible surveyor shall check locations and elevation of all such items when concrete placement has not been completed. This means before concrete is placed, everything should be ready. If those holding down bolts are required to be cast during concreting itself, then all preparations must be ready for these plates with vertical support, horizontal supports, locations, and all that has to go into concrete, so that we don't have break it later for purpose of that on inside casting. But if you can leave pockets, it's permissible. I think that's best one, because you will not be having any problem for out of location bolts. If it can be done in future, that is better. But if there's some way we are to do it doing concrete itself, then there is no way out. Records respecting pre and post pour of all inserts shall be made for references to verify locations confirmed within permissible limits of tolerance. This means pre and post pour of all such inserts shall be made for reference to verify locations confirmed within permissible limits of tolerance. Now, immediately after laid concrete finishing has been completed, it shall be covered with white polythene sheet, ensuring that edges are sealed to prevent circulation of air. Upon adequate setting of concrete, reaction of concrete, while polythene sheet shall be removed temporarily, and Hessian cloth, saturated one, which has been soaked in water, would be placed over set concrete, and white polythene sheeting be replaced and sealed at edges immediately. This Hessian cloth to be kept moist for a period of 14 days, or as specified within given specifications or applicable specifications. Immediately after laid concrete is ready to receive curing compound, it may also be sprayed if permissible by specification. Such provision shall prevent hair crack formation, that is a result of shrinkage of concrete. In that case, immediately cover by white polythene sheet shall not be required, but later on concrete would be covered as such for continuous curing for defined number of days. When shuttering is removed from an element, exposed concrete surface shall be inspected. Where a defect is seen or observed, observed defect shall be classified as either minor or major. A minor defect is one which does not impair strength of structure or is less than or around 10 mm by 10 mm size only, which defect should be repaired using a patching mortar. A major defect shall be brought to attention of quality system, quality department, and engineer for investigation and solution. Major defect shall be other surface defect that is larger than 10 mm by 10 mm size. Method to repair such defect shall be discussed and agreed with engineer. Repairs to concrete surfaces shall be cured according to meeting requirement for fresh concrete. This is a very brief statement which says a truck mixer, concrete pump, welding, Paco, compressors. This is very small statement, and also, as I said, we had given some, we can say 59, 58, 59. I like to get you in that. Let me see if I can find it. 58, 59. Method statement, concrete sequence 58. There's one 58 here, so I open that 58, and also this other one 59. 59, and also there's one, I think this one, which is this open by, I don't know, by his chance, I can't see. Let me see if I can open something else also here. There's method statement, create. And of course, I think I should have that one. It's not that one. Okay, let it open, no problem. I'll take this advantage here. We'll close it now. No use of this. This can be something. Let us see. Is that really sometimes difficult to find back. It should be 59, I think. Yes, it should be 59, 55. Rough foundation it is. Where's that? Early morning, there is a compressor foundation concrete plan. Okay, this is that one. See, what I try to show is something very extraordinary. You can close this also, no need of this. First of all, I like to show shutter here. This is plan of shutter, and this can be slab here, already existing ground, and this is your, you can say, framework of shutters, panels we call it. What's given here, you can see these are on all sides of this column. So all these four sides, any shape, and this given centering of this, because we are taking very strong formwork here. We are doing very powerful height. There is, then you can see the support, and then this support here. It says, let us see here, clamp tightened sequentially. This is clamp here, clamp, this is clamp here. You can see this, all four sides, steel clamp. The 10 mm thick plywood, 10 mm or 12 mm, I think 18 mm can be. So 75 by 75 mm form lumbers. These are timber, I studied timber, lumber was there, so that's the lumber. Then 75 cm length form shutter, form lumber again. These are packs there for support. This label here, it says 75 cm lumber from Tim lumber, this is here. Then again 75 form lumber here, prefabricated to form curve and form lumber. All these are shown here. You can say .35 mm increment on all sides for column below ground beams, because there's some design like that. We have to increase cover. For that purpose, this is different size. This is one of sketches I tried to show you. This is form. This is sketch 55. I'll close it now. Now I'll give and this sketch as well, which is just all in place. The sketch is here, and that is, we call it yes, Suraj, this is management. The statements and chapters here, sketches here, multiple sketches here. Multiple sketches here, 55 to scan. Column form, plan layout. Let me show you something. Plant layout, and this is here. Now this is different. 57, 57A, same here. Column insert. This we have done already. I'll show you that they're done anyway, but even then let me show you, it's better, so that you remember what I'm talking of. This is heavy column here, column 1 meter by 1 meter, that has to support certain compressor, heavy duty compressor. And this is steel plate that is inserts in this. For example, this is column here. These are inserts. Steel plate, steel tanks. This is called steel plate, and this is called tanks. All dimensions meters. You see these at 50, 50, 55.55. These inserts in columns of compressor, foundation, steel plate insert, sketch 68. This is for that purpose. And then you can say 68 now compound. Here is also compressor foundation. This is a compressor foundation. You can see this is within earth, this is ground. This is superstructure of this. Just for information, means what we have to do concrete in this. We have to concrete this. We have to concrete this. This is complicated one, of course. This same other details. So these will require concrete, and what is here. Of course, we can go then to slab support, not that much. Wall form, electric substation. Okay, like that we have many sketches. Mass block concrete. So we were discussing about this compressor foundation in this case, which is here. You can see I have just explained to you structure of this. There are three posts, one is for foundation, one is for column, and one is for beam frame at top. Compressor beam frame, epoxy grout, and tabletop, this is called columns, this is called foundation. So compressor foundation equal to foundation block plus columns plus tabletop. And these are voids here in tabletop compressor area. Compressor is placed on this. Then there's tabletop plan here. Steel plates and column. These are other details shown in. So as far as we have to design the concrete in a way that first of all we do this, then we do this, then we do this. Now what we can say here, this compressor foundation concrete plant typical, it is, you can say 2 meters, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 meters long, 2 meters depth, and this is plan actually. If you see closely, this is plan of pour plan. Pour plan, this is, maybe you have knowledge about this, or you may have, I can't say, but I did not have much knowledge about this in my career. I tried to learn everything, of course with common sense, because when you work in field, you become aged. We have to see how to think of pouring. Pouring is not simply what we say we can do this way or that way. We have to think about that. We have to think about that in every respect, because if pouring is not done properly, if pouring is not done in a way to avoid cold joints, in a way it's not compacted properly, in a way temperature is not controlled, in a way many more aspects are seen, voids are left, in a way that there is absence of vibration, or whatever could be other errors. Once concrete is done, it's done. You can't find, or you conduct tests for everything again, and that becomes time consuming and exhausting. Now, for example, here is a plan. You can see this is a plan of foundation step plan. This is this plan, and this width is whatever, maybe 10 meters. You can see 10 or more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 meters, and this is 2 meters width each, so this is about 20 meters, so 20 by 10 or whatever it is. And if you see in section, it is 2 meters deep. So you have to pour 20 meters by 12 meters into 2 meters, let us say. You have to pour this huge quantity, huge in a sense, it's machine foundation. It's not huge in a sense that's going to mass concrete for platform. Quality achievement is very important in such cases. You can say, run away from that responsibility. Quality achievement is a must in such case. And how to do that? Point is that as an engineer, you have to plan accordingly. That's where engineering is required. Pouring is not layman job. It is engineering science job. It's engineering job, pouring of concrete. It's not simply you think, oh, I've done it That's because I did lot in future, in past, so I do now. That's a good statement. You did it. But did you learn something? That's another statement requirement. Do you know what is technique behind that? We are doing pouring. Is it manual pouring or it is scientific pouring? I don't understand. Pouring is not enough. Pouring itself is technique in engineering. Just like sleeping is taking rest. And those who can't sleep every day cannot take rest. It's not easy to keep cold joints cleared. Don't allow cold joints, don't allow flash setting. It's not easy. We have to conceive it. What we do, we call it sectional pouring. We call it, you can say, layered pouring, multiple tier layer pouring. You can say in this case how many rows and how many columns, 5 rows and 10 columns. This is 50 layers, 50 artificial layers only for purpose of pouring. And if you see here also in plan, we have made 10 sections, and of course 5 verticals, so 50 layer we have to pour. Means whole concrete has been divided each layer into, you may say, 12 into 224 square meter, 24 into 0.4, 24 into this 0.96, 24 into 0.4, 24 into 0.4, that is 0.96 cubic, 9.6, I'm sorry, 9.6 cubic meter in each layer. It can be a little less also, depending on how your concrete is moving. So you must have realized the fraction here. So this is where I call plan, that we calculated quantity of concrete to be laid. We know where we position these pumps, this accessible site from all platform. It's very beautiful plan here for purpose of, you see, we have in capped masons, helpers and carpenters, some 60 truck tips at 8 cubic meter each. We planned frequency, we say 15 minutes, and thermal curing required, we say 2 pumps are required, 60 trips are required, 8 hours required. We calculated everything tentatively means indicatively only. That is what we need for successful pouring of this foundation. So you can see here is pump location, other pump is located here as pump location, here pump location, and there are 6 pump locations. Pump location 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, these are there, and we have to move on this. It's not joke, it was done practically, and therefore I am sharing with you. Now, such pours were done on many foundations, and this was interesting, of course, because though we are seeing lines here, but on side we don't draw line, we just approximately do it. And then it's a concrete truck is here, everywhere there is concrete truck. So we have here, we have to change location once, and maybe one are here, there and there. So we have complete information about how shall we do. What shall we do? One concrete, one soil. Quantities we have and transfer mixes, everything is available. We have given section of this, you can see 1, 2, 4, 6, 10, 14, 17, 21, 29, 31. And in next layer is 3, next layer you can see sequence of layers in this next row is 3, 5, 8, 12, 16, 20, 23, 20, 30, 35, 37, 31. Then it is 7, 9, 13, 18, 24, 27, 33, 39, 41, 43. Then it's 11, 15, 19, 26, 32, 36, 40, 44, 46, 48, and then top 22, 25, 28, 29, 34, 38, 42, 45, 47, 49, 50. 10 into 5, 50. There are 50 layers to be poured in this case. We have to pour 50 layers in this concrete body, in this concrete member. So what you say, start early morning or late evening in hot weather conditions. Thermal curing required. So we can say start early morning or late evening in hot weather conditions, thermal curing required. I think maybe you are clear about what I want to say. When I describe these numbers 1 to 4, what are these? Easy. The sequence of these 50 layers we have to do different way. You cannot pour whole layer in one go. We cannot pour second or third or fourth like this. Because purpose of, if we pour in layer throughout, means number 3 layer shall take time to come in. Means we just laid 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 out of sequence we lay. And that's not systematic engineering, that's nonsense. So in steps means when you lay one, you apply whole layer or immediately. This layer 1 when we pour and apply vibrator, then because there is no way out, we have to create some bottom surface, so we immediately pour layer 2 and leave it. I have constant joint computer. So we can say 1 and 2 layer are gone. You see 3 has come back on 1. 3 has come back on 1. Then 4 has overtake 2. So 1, 2, 4, 3. 4 hours, 2, 3 on top of 1. Then 4, 5. 5 goes on about 2. And similarly we take 6 again next layer. There is concrete layer. If you don't follow this section, like it says 3, 4, 5, you miss 6 here, yeah, just 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, F10 you can say, 11, 12 should be somewhere here. Immediately, yeah, it's 12 second layer increasing. Like this, you can go up to 50 layers. That's mass pour, massive pour, very fast pour. Means such a fast pour you have to control. It's very, very significant. After all these are done, then you can apply further actions, and this where plan is. That's the whole purpose of this plan I tried to show to you. And this I can close, I can say now this is another one, and this is 250 km per hour, same thing, it's also, what it says 120 each cubic meter, 28 trucks mixes, 8 pumps and 2 standby, like this. Same 821, it's the same section, it is, as we discussed last time. Same it is, but sequences are same. And it is. So we can also close this for this talk. This is gone. We can also go to this and we can close it. We have seen how can we do concrete, and that's very important part of talk. Important part of talk, and particularly deep members like columns. Beams are not that deep. Columns are 4 meters casting maybe, and 4 meters casting means 10 layers casting. Not in one go, maybe in 2 go or 3 go, it depends how many columns you have and what strength of your shutter is. Is there some chance your shutter may open during pour? But generally, if well done, it's tight. This means pouring is art. Pouring is art. One has to be very careful while doing pouring. It's not running business, it's patient business. Pouring, testing, all that is very important point. We can't just jump on and say, no, I have done it. Pouring members like columns, footings of course are very important one. Let me see if I can show you some footing out of these sketches. Let me see if I can give something, yes. For this time we can find and give something. I cannot open all files because it affects memory. General records my folder, and then it is Dr. Bank pipe culvert from Lord Sewer water reservoir, is that called from wall form, slab form, let us see wall form, I think. Lift form, that's a lift form is also very important. I'll come back on some very important one, and that's lift form. Lift form is very important one from pouring viewpoint. This is very complicated one as well. I have to see it carefully. Only then you can understand what I'm saying, because this, it is, I can say 85, I put it 80 here. Life form work. Lift, spelling is wrong, please. LIFT, it is not LIFE. So, lift form work. Typical site fabricated sketch. You can say, think of means when it was done manually, how much time it took to do it. Now it's in here. Lift well, we call it lift well, and this is means accuracy and degree of form work. Of course, this was done not proprietary one. We did ourselves in year 1982. Now there are so many proprietary materials, proprietary shutters available in market, in important market, and people trust them more than their own work. No issue. You can do it your way. We can do your way, doesn't matter as far as it goes on. This is form work. You can say here, this is lift walls, this is door of lift, and this is lift car internal. Lift car, lift well. Concrete is in this portion. This is, door, and this is door box. You can say vertical portion. This is two shutters. Means door portion, wherever it is, cannot get any concrete in case of lift. So it should be wide. That is requirement of this. And we have shown here A and B typical elevation of these shutters. You can say elevation B and elevation A down, and arrangement of shutters, arrangement of panels, and alignment of supports. Because height is 4 meters, there are more supports, and spacing of these battens or scantlings is 50 centimeter, 500 mm, and there are details of other connections which are also very important one. We'll discuss this plainly. We'll discuss this plainly in a professional way. View this, watch this. We'll be back in 10 minutes. You'll watch this better. You must have seen this now. I like to say you must have seen this, and I must explain to you now what was not explained before. This is what I am showing to you. This is insert door internal form, 16 bolts to be sleeved in, sleeves to be stay permanent. Calculate forces for decision, details are indicative only. This is tie bolts here, 16-ton passing through polythene pipe sleeves, which shall remain permanently within concrete here. And you can say these are different levels. This is door here. Here is elevation A, which is for this. So we have this elevation here. You can see details of this. You can see this positioning. This is for resistor pressure, and this is positioning supports 50-50, half a meter spacing of these patterns. And that is, you can say this is for door. There should no concrete in this door. It's 2.2 meters here, 1.5 meter wide. You can say that. There is, you can say this is for door box wide. For here you can say this is lift pit here at ground. This is 0.8 here. You can say here is slab level. This is plinth level, and 4 meters height. Here we have to make supports arrangements. This here is 4 platform inside. You can say there's some plywood battens here in supporting system. Lift wall. This is elevation is similarly here, same pattern of elevation. Then now we can just zoom out and see how it works. Now program is pouring for this drawing. You have to pour these walls up to 2.2 meters. There's no pour in this portion. So we have our poles shall retain here. It shall retain here in this portion, and this is without pour. So most important point here is that up to 2.2 meters you have to be very clever for pouring. Means you have to rotate pour. Say you start from here, goes down here and here. It can be one pump or two pumps. It depends upon size. One pump is enough. If you do, especially your supervisor or foreman, whoever is engaged, must be very smart and must be concentrative. Make sure that 4 doesn't exceed 400 mm thickness. Come back, go like this. Means first layer, let's say start from here. You may say start from first one. You start from first one, you can say it is 2.95 meter. This is about 1.5 here. So you can say approximately 50 cm and 50 cm this way. The start go about 4 meters. This is 4 meters. 4 plus 4 8 plus 3 11 and 12 meters you have to pour. 4 for 12 meters you have to pour in one layer. 12 meters into 0.4. 12 meters into 0.4, I think 0.4 is enough. So 12 meter into 0.4 is 0.4 is a half square meter sectional area in the layer here within door portion. 0.5 square meter. This is I am sure 4 for 12 11 meters, let us say 11 meters into 0.4. So yes, half square 5 square meter, I think. 12 into 0.5, 11 into 0.5, 5 square meter, I'm sorry, 0.5 square meter. 4 into 4 into 4, let us say 16 into half, so about 5 square meter per into 0.4 meters height, so 5 is 0.4, 2.4, 2.5, 2 to 2.5 cubic meter in one layer. So in one layer, let us say 2 to 2.5 cubic meter means in 3 layers your one truck will go, and it will take about, we can say, in this 2.5 meters cubic meter content, it will take 5 minutes minimum, because I take like a rascal. Let us say 5 to 10 minutes, let us say 10 minutes for one mixer to come out this, and you then apply vibrators simultaneously following concrete, and let's say 10 to 15 minutes, you can say, in one layer, and there are in this door portion probably 5 layers, so 15 into 5 75 minutes and to take to fill up to door height, and that sequence cannot change. You should not change that. You cannot start concrete from here or here or here. You have to take from one end and rotates perfectly, or can to take from two and rotate perfectly. It's up to you. If you have one concrete pump, because space is a space, so you have to do that. And when you reach up to up level of door, which is about 2 meters, 2.2 meters, maybe half door you have to do, and then hold on like this. If your perfect lift forms, once you reach here, and you can, it will be about, you are saying 20-15 minutes in one layer, and this is say 5 layers, 75 minutes already gone, 1 hour, more than 1 hour. So maybe 2 or 3 layers have done their job. They are solidified to some extent, 50% solidified, and then upper portion 4 meters height we have, so 1.8 meters above means another 4 layers, of course, 4 layers, another one, but that is continuous one, there is no gap, so another 2 hours. So you can say, in fact, 3 to 4 hours in casting these walls. 4 hours, enough time. That's the purpose of this formwork. Means it's very gigantic structural concrete. Let me use an example. Though concrete is very important for this due to so many reasons. In our country, I think we do in block work or in brickwork, but generally it's done in structural concrete. Not only because it acts as lift well, but also there's another reason it can be used as core for purpose of horizontal forces. That's the only reason behind that. So I wanted to give an example of this. It's a very beautiful example. You can refer this yourself also. So it is a professional way we can do this, and then we can go there and ask for, means all methods we have gone into this, we have seen this. This sequence is very important. Similarly, we can say, if we go to some other parts of this, we'll find sectional tank. So let's see what sectional tank. Now it's a sectional tank is something else. I'll give house a. I want to see some. Yes, I want to foundation beams. Yes, I like to show. But I should. So I'm searching for that, which I show to you. Columns. This is here. Yeah, I'd like to show you this. Now this is another kind of foundation we can do. You see this, if you see in section, you can see here, this is beam, this is beam here, this is spreader below, and this is beam portion, which you can see continuously here. There's no isolated footing in this. Actually, these are different kind of beams where we consider all these beams together, find forces and stresses, and columns start from top here at this level. The starter bars are in, but these columns are. There's no stop column in this case. What you can say here, this is 400 wide into 1200 deep, 400 wide, 1200 deep beam, and you can say this is 800 wide here, spreader, in 200 deep. So this is section here, this is 1 meter here, and this is 1200. Take hole, see this, and this is main beam, and the spreader is connected, and beams are also connected. See this. We have to, here is water tank below this. This is different structure. Of course, water is contained between beams. So how to shutter this and how to pour this? Pouring is no problem. Pouring is no problem because there is one. First of all, we have to prepare improvement, then we have to take blinding, and then we have to do its it's better if we do monolithic casting of this and this, if we do that. Or you cannot do monolithic casting, okay, we can do this portion together. Means first structural concrete, we can do this portion, what I'm telling you, this portion I'm talking, this portion, or this portion you may say, or you may say this portion. All this in one go. Depth is 200 mm, depth of concrete, and it's 800 wide. So 200 Newton in one go we can do it. And second one, although still is there, we prepare for this portion. And this is done in 2 layers. Possibly it's 800 mm, 1 meter. So can be done 2 or 3 layers as we did in second stage. And then we say columns start from here after doing fill or backfill. That's purpose of this foundation beams, soil improvement, etc. That's what we say. We have to understand this. So here is, let us say, this is beam only, and there's a water tank below here. It is shown dotted lines because we wanted to use some slabs, but later on we changed to casting slab. No precast covers now. We did, but we planned for that. So same thing applies here, and it's an interesting one to do this. And also, if you want to do this. Similarly, we can say something else is done. Let's say I'll just try to find something else in this, which is very important one. This is a very important point I'm trying to give you. Of course, this is also important. This is Formwork RCC footing, and it's 2 meters by 2 meters by 0.5 4 meters. You can see this is RCC footing here. This is elevation. You can see this is footing, concrete portion. This is supporting portion, horizontal and inclined. See here. And this is very simple foundation, isolated footing, 2 meters by 2 meters, 0.5 means 2 cubic meter, concrete only in this. So maybe you have 10 or 15 foundations, you can do them together. There is only one layer for 500, can be 2 layers maximum. So you have to do this. It's very easy, very fast as well. Very fast pour if you do 10-20 footings together like this or different dimensions. You can get them ready mix, of course, with low water symmetry, so because this is foundation. Low water symmetry is better. It can be water symmetry 0.3. Lower than 3 won't survive. You can see this very small foundation, very strong foundation, and this can be easily done. There is no issue in that. If you say something else, I'll show you this important. Yes, there's a column form, I'll show you. This is very important one. That's what, you know. That's the plan of this column. This is a plan of this column, and this is here. Expected slab here. This is formwork system. 12 mm diameter bolts, screws, wash clamp, formwork timber. 75, 75, 75, 50. And this is positioning here. This is resultant supporting. And this could be top support. And all is to go in one, so maybe 4 meters. We have to do it again in layers. There's no other way out. And this is same as this one. And also column form, as I said. This is okay. Here is another sketch I'm trying to show you. This is a manhole sketch, precast manhole. You can see this is manhole sketch, precast manholes. So this can be cast in situ as well, doesn't matter. Here I tried to show plans, both. You can see this is a plan. This is cover top of that, and this is inside. Our step is here. And of course pipe is shown 6 inches out here and 6 inches in. So this is just another one is coming here, so you can see this goes in, this goes in, this goes out. So channels will be like this. This dipper, and this is another one. These 2 entries, and here is outside. So this you see there are then 4 elevations in this. That is called north, south. We say north, east, south, and west, south, and northeast. So all 4 elevations are here. from inside. If you say here, it's a north, so this is north. Just can say here. Steps are seen. Steps with, you can say, this is north. There's no pipe in north. There's a pipe in south. Here. There's a pipe in south here. There's a pipe in north, south, east, conduction. There's a pipe here that is in east, and there's another pipe here that is according to this pipe in block out sizes. This is 352.4 into, and different with block sizes for 6 inches, for space location is shown, so that on site when they take this drawing they leave blockouts. And there's 150 mm from bottom inward level reaches. Inward level of this pipe, actual inward level is different. 50 from bottom concrete, you have to leave a gap, and the pipe starts in that blockout. That blockout will be grouted later on. This is a method used for casting concrete manholes. About 400 numbers of varying dimensions. Drawings are prepared for all these manholes. You can see your numbers are written here. Maybe this is MH, manhole utility service, SY designation of that area, and 30 number like this. So you can say, then manhole cover you have to cast later on also, steps you have to put in. And then after casting of each and curing is done, these are transported to site for placing on prepared blind concrete. That was there. So I can close this also. So we can see that. I think may not be boring on this, but it's a very interesting one. So I'll put off now. View that. We continue this. So it's very, very important that we understand concreting function, how to pour concrete, how to do that. Now it's resin injection to leaking joints, locations, seawater surge basin. This is also a kind of very important element of. Let's concentrate on this. It says statement is aimed to propose procedures to be adopted to carry out ejection. It is saying aim to propose procedures to be adopted to carry out injection to leaking joints at seawater surge basin, which were observed during conducting water tightness test in conformance to BS Code 8007, which is designs and testing of water retaining structures. Responsibility is safety, etc. No major specific. Now here is material available, whichever material you need for that. We have to write here. Now sketch 13. Let us say sketch 13 what it says. So I'll just show you the sketch again for your refreshing what this says. We are talking of this body. Seawater basin. We are talking of injection, chemical injection. Leaking joints be repaired or reinstated by injecting resin using approved material according to manufacturer's proposed method statement, supporting which proposal material data sheet is attached. Preparation and application of low viscosity. Preparation and application of a low viscosity polyurethane injection. Polyurethane injection used for reinstating structural integrity and so you can say leaking joint shall be repaired and preparation and application of low viscosity polyurethane injection used resin injection resin used for reinstating structural integrity of cracked concrete accommodating high movement. Let's read again. It says leaking joint shall be repaired, reinstated by injecting resin using MBT material according to proposed method statement, supporting which proposal material data sheet is attached. A preparation and application of a low viscosity polyurethane injection resin used for reinstating structural integrity of cracked concrete accommodating slight movement. So might be of view that what is preparation application of low viscosity, not high viscosity. We are talking of low viscosity polyurethane injection. What is low viscosity? Means it should flow in properly. If it's high viscosity, it won't flow. So it should be like fluid. It should go in. Low viscosity polyurethane injection resin is used for reinstating structural integrity of cracked concrete, accommodating slight movement. How to do it? Location of leakage shall be marked on structures jointly with engineer. This is an important point. Say location of leakage shall be marked on structures jointly with engineer. That is very important activity. Correct marking when leakage is observed. Water used for testing shall be pumped out of basin. That's an important point now. It's big job, big quantity. Water used for testing shall be pumped out of basin. Very, very time-consuming activity. Latents and contaminants. Latents and contaminants. Let's say water used for testing shall be pumped out of basin. Latents and contaminants shall be removed from surface, forming a band 50 mm wide. So latents and contaminants shall be removed from surface, forming a band 50 mm wide, centered on crack using light grid blasting. So holes shall be drilled along center of crack for packers at not more than 3 mm apart. Then you may say holes shall be drilled along center of crack for packers at not more than 300 meters apart. Then you can say compressed air shall be forced and used to remove dust and debris. Means holes shall be drilled along center of crack for packers at not more than 300 mm apart. Compressed air shall be forced in use to remove dust and debris. Mixed conclusive or material shall be applied to bottom of flange at perimeter, ensuring paste doesn't block bolt. Hose shall be located over crack center, and material shall be applied in a strip of 20 mm wide, 2 into 3 mm thick between ports and crack center. After all ports have been placed, forcing paste into substrate atom. Now we go further and say application. Let's see. Application of this is important. In case of flowing water, it, injection shall be, concresive 1335 shall be injected into crack joint before using concresive. So there's sequence of material. You have to see whatever material you are using, you have to follow sequence accordingly. You cannot say that otherwise, means you have to follow sequence whichever material you use. So in case of flowing water, named material shall be injected into crack joint before using another followed materials. When water ingress stops, concresive shall be injected into joint crack. This means injection process be started from one end of the crack, moving from bottom upwards. In case of vertical joint, injection process shall be started from one end of crack, moving from bottom upwards. In case of a vertical joint, both components of concresive 1320 shall be mixed for at least 1 minute. Injection gun shall be filled with mixed resin. And connected to port following injection started. Resin shall continue to be injected until it starts flowing from next port. Resin shall continue to be injected until it starts flowing from next port. Port under injection be closed at this stage and other started being injected. All ports shall be injected similarly and whole surface treated. Resin shall be allowed to cure. Injection ports be removed and paste ground vertically. Injection port shall be removed and paste ground vertically over cracks. If so required, civil inspection shall be carried out for approval of injection treatment and for application of above ground concrete surface Posted protective coating, chemical paint system. Water shall be filled to specified test level and test reconducted conforming to according to requirements. What we need here is injection system, hand gun, compressor, grid blasting unit, port flanges, grinder, etc. So it's again injection to leaking joint seawater circulation. It was 36, it was before that was title was region injection to joints location such water blessings. Also same thing as the other one. Maybe it's a repetition. Let us see. Wait a minute. Let us see its reference here. Region injection to leaking joint seawater sign basin. This is aimed to propose procedure to be adopted to carry out injection to leaking joints and seawater basin which were observed during conducting water tightness test in conformance to BS Code 8007. You can say it's now master builder different material and concresive. Master builder technology is confirmed that this is a flexible compressible material. One set. No materials are to be introduced into expansion joint that interferes with function of joint. No materials are to be introduced into expansion joint that interferes with function of joint. Now, applicator is who's the applicator? The applicator must have track record for appraisal respecting, whoever is there. Then we have to attach that for approval. Measurement of injection quantity. Since material is supplied in small package of 1 of 5 liters, use quantity can be measured by counting number of cans used. According to this material, most effective means of injection is from outside. As point of crack or leakage can be seen, which is almost impossible to be viewed when applied from inside. Now, leakage joints, leakage control technology. I think sketch 13 indicatively that must be of basin only. I think it should be a basin, not more than that. Sketch 13 seawater basins, no need of showing that is basin sketch. A leaking joint shall be reinstated by injecting using whatever material according to proposed statement and materials data sheet rests. Preparation and application of low viscosity polyurethane injection used for reinstating structural integrity of cracked concrete, accommodating slight movement. Following operations shall be involved. So, what is that operation? That is important one. Location of leakage shall be marked. Location of leakage shall be marked. Leaking water shall be plugged with master seal, and once water running is temporarily stopped, holes shall be drilled on both sides of expansion joint at an angle of 200 to 500 meter spacing. Metal screw packers shall be installed in drilled holes and tightened so injected material does not leak and remain fully within space provided prepared for injection. Let us view it again. It says, leaking joint shall be reinstated by injecting resin using material according to statement. Preparation and application of low viscosity polyurethane rejection resin used for reinstating structural integrity of cracked concrete, accommodating slight movement. Operations are: location of leakage shall be marked and plugged with material master sealer as approved or whatever approved. Once water running is temporarily stopped, holes shall be drilled on both sides of expansion joint at an angle and at 200 to 500 mm spacing. Metal screw packers shall be installed. In drill holes and tightened so that injected material does not leak and remains fully within space provided prepared for injection. Metal screw packers shall be installed in drilled holes and tightened or fastened so that injected material does not leak and remains fully within space provided prepared for injection. No material shall be injected into packers to further stop water as it forms and cures within 30 seconds, stopping all flow of water. Second stage, the first stage, this material shall be injected into packers to further stop water as it forms and cures within 30 seconds, stopping all flow of water. The second stage other material shall be injected using a high pressure up to 250 bars, an electrically operated injection machine at a suitable pressure. This injection shall react with water as well as bubble up to a fine foam and seal leaking cracked joints permanently. Leak shall be checked again after 24 hours and re-injection applied if required. Packer shall be removed next day and holes reprofiled using non-shrink grout. Let me come. Okay, let us see this again. Let me see the expansion joint. So this is continuation. Very important item actually. It's very important item. We have to freely understand this very important item. Important in every sense, not in one sense or two senses, because this is water retaining structure. It's very important one. You have to understand this point. You have to understand this point very well. So it's okay. So we said second stage, first stage was injection into packers and movers. Packers to further stop water, and within 30 seconds it sets the cures. And then second stage, injection using a high pressure, which is up to 250 bars, an electrically operated injection machine at suitable pressure. This injection reacts with water as well as bubble up to fine foam and seal leaking cracks, joints permanently. This injection, this is a machine at suitable pressure, reacts with water as well as bubble up to a fine foam and seal leaking crack joints permanently. Leak is checked again after 24 hours and injection applied if required. Re-injection applied if required. Packers shall be removed next day and holes reprofiled using non-shrink route. During complete operations, inspection shall be carried out to record leakage has been controlled to code requirements satisfactorily. And we require high pressure and electric injection, high pressure electric injection system, metallic packers, and of course we have to give data sheet. This is then Treatment to mold expansion joints, seawater search basin. Treatment to mold expansion joints. Now, this statement again aims to propose procedure to be adopted to carry out injection to moved expansion joints in roof and base at seawater search basin, which defects were observed during water tightness test. And previous statement was for, this was for, you can say, it was for, that was, let me avoid confusion actually. It was a treatment of moved expansion joints to water search basin. Now we're talking of, and before it was for leaked, it was for you can say leaking joints, seawater search basin leaking joints, and before it was leaking joints locations seawater search basin, and this was of course repair to floor screeds. So one was to leaking joints, other one is leaking joints. Now leaking joints seawater search basin, what is it was, now it is moved expansion joints, seawater search basin, moved joints. This statement is aimed to propose procedures. This statement is aimed to propose procedures to be adopted to carry out injection to moved expansion joints in roof and base at seawater search basin, which defects were observed during water tightness tests. Code is BS 8007 that was referred for conducting water tightness test for basin. And we can see now materials, whatever material is approved, and in this case was Master Builder Technology MBT, was concrete 1320 epoxy putting concrete 2200 high bottom complete wax tape, and Colma. These are their materials, and not you can use your own material system. Ask your manufacturer of chemical suppliers what system they give, and they have to follow that one. Just for reference, it is nothing to do with that. Those are recommendation, nothing. Now, expansion joint at roof, that is in question. Expansion joint at roof, that's question here. Says preparation is joint shall be plugged. That's number one, with a rapid setting cement at top and soffit. Okay. So we say joint shall be plugged with rapid setting cement at top and soffit. What is application? Preparation is only one. Joint shall be plugged with rapid setting cement at top and soffit. Application is when cement is set When cement is set, drilling shall be carried out. Drilling shall be carried out and screw packers fixed to allow inject polyurethane into joints. When cement is set, drilling shall be carried out. Drilling shall be carried out and screw packers fixed to allow injection to allow inject polyurethane into joints. Concrete 1320 are equivalent to a two-component low viscosity flexible polyurethane. Low viscosity flexible polyurethane resin be injected into prepared joint using an electric injection machine affecting joint sealed after polyurethane cures. Next day cement plugs. Next day cement plugs shall be removed. Next day cement plugs shall be removed from top and soffit of slab. And joints cleaned to depth 100 mm to get uniform thickness depth. A suitable dia backup rod shall be provided and surface reprofiled using 2 parts polysulfide sealant and allowing that to cure. Let us repeat. Preparation. Joint shall be plugged with a rapid setting cement. Joint shall be plugged with a rapid setting cement at top and bottom, top and soffit. Application is cement is set. When cement is set, drilling shall be carried out and screw packers fixed to allow inject polyurethane into joints. Means when cement is set, drill shall be carried out, drilling shall be carried out and screw packers fixed to allow inject polyurethane into joints. A 2-component low viscosity flexible polyurethane resin shall be injected into prepared joints using an electric injection machine affecting joint sealed after polyurethane cures. Next day, cement plug shall be removed from top and soffit of slab and joint cleaned to depth 100 mm to get a uniform thickness depth. Suitable dia backup rod shall be provided and surface reprofiled using 2-part polysulfide sealant and allowing that to cure. Back slab expansion joint. base slab expansion joint. Base slab expansion joint. This joint shall be treated if leakage is observed. Base slab in draft, Adjacent area of joint shall be ground, cleaned and plugged by rapid setting mortar. Screw packers shall be drilled and fixed for injection. Application. Concrete shall be injected into prepared space using an electric injection machine so as to seal joint permanently after polyurethane resin comes in contact with water. Cement plugs and old sealant from joint shall be removed next day. Sides of joint shall be ground using an angle grinder to remove all deleterious material to avoid rebonding of new sealant. Backup rod shall be installed, followed by priming side by joint shall be reprofiled using joint sealant and allowed to cure. Adjacent area of joint shall be ground to remove coating from surface. An aluminum foil shall be provided on top of joint sealant. 1 mm or 2 mm thick tape, Hapothon tape or Combiflex tape, 200 mm wide, shall be fixed using concrete. A 2-part epoxy putty. After activating tape with cleaner, top surface of tape shall be closed with putty. Top surface of tape shall be closed with putty, leaving a neat band of 50 mm joint in between. System shall be allowed to cure for 3 days prior to basin is put to use. Equipment is high pressure electric injection system, metallic packers, and method statement. This was statement to mold expansion joints, seawater such basin, and this was resin injection to leaking joints, locations, seawater such basin. It's very important one till today. And of course, it's part of quality system. Really, so that's what is important here. Lot of talk goes on in quality system. We have to form quality system ourselves by our experience, by expertise, and by expert materials, specialist materials, understanding procedures, understanding our work, understanding specifications, and how to comply with those designed specifications that are required in whatever items on project. It is not alone that quality stands, it is system that stands, it is engineering that stands, and of course design relevance and construction technology that stands. We have to have technical coordination, how to understand requirements, and how to evolve each and every strategy that gives us or that support us for quality system. That's what it is. Tässä on sellainen järkeä, mikä lähti. Se meni ihan meidän. We have to understand spread of quality, system quality, individual quality, element quality, and then we can move forward to produce quality systems, quality materials, and everything quality based. That's of course very important point. Keeping all this abreast, we can go for more and more requirements, more and more standards, and formulate that. It's really very much systematic that once we streamline all this, we can stand at some point. I'll continue this talk without any problems. There are so many statements have to come, and we have to talk a lot on this. I think it never ends. It never ends, and work never ends. It's life which goes on and on. We have to understand that. We have to inflict ourselves in that. We have to keep it in all that. That's what we say life is all about. No end, no end. Engineering has no end. And we have to continue, improve everything. Every material, every system, we have to design every construction technology, every activity. And then we have to organize ourselves in such a way that when we do something, we have every literature with us. It's not literature of design only. It's not literature of first, but everything up to quality, up to work quality. That is more important. And if work quality is not improved to requirement conformance, we can't give proficiency in designs. We can't say that this design is very good, because it's achieved or not achieved. It depends upon that whether it's good. We can achieve design, we can say we can achieve something. If we are not able to achieve design, we cannot achieve anything. Our design works only when quality production or quality construction is done. Otherwise, design cannot be achieved. We cannot say that. We have to be very careful about this. With this I say, we'll keep in touch. This is only few method statements are given, and we'll completely do it, and let us see that.